Happy Easter! Good morning and welcome to our Easter special for Hive. So I've got Libby with me and we're going to be doing some Bible story, some craft. I think there might be about 5 different crafts to do. So we're going to combine a bit of a hive with some craft activities. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. We are going to do what we did last week and imagine that we've just come in from church, that you are now sitting down, getting comfy, and we'll start with a prayer. We'll have a short Bible reading and then we're going to launch into different crafts, okay? So, who's going to pray for us this morning? Me. Okay. Dear God, thank you so much that we can meet together even though we're in our own homes. Thank you for this special Easter day where we celebrate the fact that you died and you rose again to new life. Help us to learn about you. Help us to enjoy worship together as we meet now. Amen. Brilliant. So Libby is going to read our story from the Bible, and the story from the Bible is from Matthew, really near the end of the book of Matthew, because it's coming to the end of the story about Jesus' life. And this is the story where we find out about Jesus having died, and the ladies, after he'd died, the ladies went a couple of days later to go and see his body and to make sure that everything was okay. And we pick up the story there. Now, we're going to read this story, and I need you to join in, otherwise I'll feel really silly. We're going to do some actions and try, when Libby does a pause in the story, try and do a facial expression or an action, that's it, like that fits with how the people in the story are feeling. So shocked, worried, really frightened. Yeah, so let's go for it and see what we can do as Libby reads the story from the Bible.
It was early in the morning on the first day of the week. Mary Magdalene and her friend, who was also called Mary, were on their way to Jesus' tomb. As they drew near, they saw 2 guards sitting there.
Ooh.
Without warning, an angel came down from the sky like a bolt of lightning. He was dressed in dazzling white clothes, and the earth shook as he landed and rolled back the stone at the entrance of the tomb. The guards were terrified. First they shook with fear, and then they fainted. Do not be afraid, the angel said to the 2 Marys. He was sitting on the stone. I know who you are looking for. You came to see Jesus, who was killed on the cross. He isn't here anymore. He has been raised from the dead. Come and see where his body lay.
Oh, I'm a bit confused.
The 2 Marys didn't know what to think. They were both scared of the angel and excited by what he said. The angel continued speaking. When you have seen that Jesus is gone, go and tell the disciples the news. Jesus will go ahead of them to Galilee, and they will see him there. Still frightened, but also full of joy, the women ran from the tomb to find the disciples. They didn't get far though, because suddenly Jesus was there, standing in front of them. Greetings, said Jesus. The women fell to the ground, took hold of Jesus' feet, and worshipped him. Jesus spoke again. Do not be afraid, he said. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. They will see me there.
Let's do it. Wow, that is amazing, isn't it? Yeah, a sort of a real, what's the word that we use now on Easter Day that we can say when we're really excited about this story? He is risen. Hallelujah. Fantastic. So that is the story of the Marys going to the tomb and Jesus is not there. So we are going to do a few activities to help us go through that Easter story. So shall we put a bit of a tablecloth on here, Libby? Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So some of these activities involve food, some involve paint, and some involve sticking things. These are not all that dramatic because I've tried to do things that you should have at home, so things you might find in your cupboards, and hopefully there'll be some of them that you will enjoy. And if you don't have what we need for each one, you'll need to pause the video, go get things, or maybe watch it all and then decide which ones you want to go and do later this week. Yeah? So now, can you remember on the Thursday that we've just had, Maunday Thursday, we remember Jesus and his friends celebrated a special meal, the Passover meal. They celebrated the Passover meal. And after they'd celebrated the Passover meal, they went somewhere. They went to the garden, and Jesus went to the garden to pray because he knew what was about to happen to him. He knew that he was about to die. That's it, the Garden of Gethsemane. So we are going to do a craft that reminds us of a garden. What do you find in gardens?
Flowers.
Flowers. So we are going to make a flower craft. We're going to make a flower like this. Do you want to go and show it a bit closer to the camera? Okay. Brilliant. Right, Libby, come back and we'll... So to make this looks a bit like a hyacinth, doesn't it? Like a hyacinth flower. So to make this, you will need a piece of card, that's shaped a bit like an Easter egg, or a bunny's ear. So out of a old packet of cereal or a piece of card that you might have at home, cut a bit of an Easter egg shape like that, okay? Then the next thing you need to do is make the lovely swirls there for the petals. And if you don't have coloured paper, then the first thing you're going to need to do is paint or felt tip or crayon a piece of white paper to make it whatever colour you want your flower to be. And then, Libby, can you demonstrate how to make the swirls?
So you get a pencil and you put the...
You've cut your paper into strips, haven't you? Yeah.
And then you get a pencil and put it at the top of your strip. And then you roll the piece of paper around the pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah. How if I actually did that?
Wood, yeah. Fantastic.
And then you leave it on your pen. You pinch it when you finish. You pinch it for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then you let go of it, and it should make sense.
And then you should have swirls like this, swirls of paper, and then I'll hold that pencil, Libby, while you put glue all over the Easter egg shape. Great. Fantastic. And then you start from the edges. Ooh, that glue's gone a bit gloopy, hasn't it? Start from the edges and stick those on. There you go. So that's it. So you stick on your petals around the edges, make them look really nice, and keep on going and make the beautiful petals. And then to finish it off, when you've covered it all in the petals, I've used a green lolly stick and I've cut the leaf shape out of some green card. Yeah. So again, if you don't have green card or lolly sticks, colour some white card, and then we've used some double-sided sticky tape, haven't we, Libs? Double-sided sticky tape. You need to stick the stem quite high up the flower because it's quite heavy. So you have to put it quite high up, and then stick a leaf on as well. And there you've got an absolutely beautiful flower. And then on the back you could write Happy Easter and give it to somebody, or you can just keep it as a decoration for yourself. And that reminds you of Jesus praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. Brilliant. So that is our first activity. Now, after the Thursday, when Jesus was in the garden, what happened after that?
He was arrested.
He was arrested, yeah.
And he died on a cross.
He did. So the next thing we've made is a cross. Do you want to show that? Excellent. So we've made a weaving cross. Now, you can spend ages on this. It can be a really lovely, relaxing activity. So the first thing you need to do is cut out a cross shape, again, from an old cereal packet or a bit of card. and then find some string or wool, or you could do it, if you don't have anything like that, you could get an old carrier bag and cut up the carrier bag into strips and do it with bits of plastic. There's a whole lot of things you can do. And then Libby, would you like to demonstrate a bit of weaving of the next colour?
Yeah.
So you could do it all in one colour, you could do it multicoloured. On the first one, we did quite loose weaving. And then on this one, Libby's done much sort of tighter, closer together weaving. Ooh, you might remember this wool, anyone who came to the Christmas craft activities. We made our sheep with this. It's really nice, soft wool. And so I think this is a really relaxing, calm activity, and you can spend 2 minutes or you can spend half an hour or more sitting, relaxing, doing weaving, can't you?
Yeah.
See the look of concentration. Brilliant. And then we've got a cross here that we've made, and you can hang this cross up, and it can be a reminder to you of the Friday, the day that Jesus died on the cross. And Jesus died on the cross so that we could be forgiven and have a relationship with God. So that is a reminder of that part of the Easter story. Fantastic. So look, Libby's made some really more progress here with the white wool coming around. You can't really see it in the light, can you there? No, but it's going to look beautiful when we're finished. But we'll finish that one later, shall we? Yeah? Brilliant. So that is the second of our activities. Now, Jesus died on the cross, and then we've had in your story, haven't we? He was buried in a tomb and then rose again from the dead. And so the thing that we're going to look at is Jesus's tomb. Now, normally we'd have Chris, and Chris would help us to make a fabulous biscuit or an amazing bit of food to go with our Easter craft. But today you've got me and Libby. So we're going to do this with, wait for it, you need 1.5 round biscuits and ideally a little chocolate Easter egg. Then you'll also need a bit of icing. What colour's ours?
Ours is pink.
And why on earth is it pink?
Because our friend bought us some pink food colouring.
That's it. Our friend very kindly bought some pink food colouring, so we thought, why not use it? Let's dye our icing pink. And then we've also got some sprinkles to be like the soil. And we're only using those because we've got them from Libby's pancake party left over. So first thing, Libby, you talk everybody through this one for me.
You get some icing, and then you rub it around your whole dice.
That's it. So you put it on the base of the full biscuit.
And then you get the half biscuit and you put it into the icing.
And what's the half biscuit supposed to look like?
The tomb.
The tomb. So can people see that? Do you want to go show people that bit? There you go, yeah. Oh, wobbling.
That's why you need icing.
Yeah, so you've got one flat biscuit and then you've got the tomb bit propped up. Brilliant. And then
Stand up.
it's a bit because our half biscuit was a bit wonky. I think someone sort of might have been nibbling at it. And then we've got our little Easter egg, and we're going to put the Easter egg
on this side, like it's been rolled away.
Like it's been rolled away, the stone that's been rolled away. Do you want to put some sprinkles on? Like just 1 or 2 too many sprinkles. That's nice. So here we go, look. We've got the tomb with the stone that was rolled away. And that is going to be absolutely delicious to eat later, isn't it? Now, in case anyone wants a healthier version, you can make a healthier version for yourself, if you wanted to, with a piece of bread. Let's get the camera so the light's not too shiny on it. A piece of bread, and then you can cut another piece of bread, this shape, to look like the tomb, and you can, with butter or with cream cheese, you can put that there, and then look, a slice of apple can go in front, like the stone. So if you want a healthier version, you can have a bread and apple version. Which one are you going to want to eat first, Libby? probably most people's choice. But I know I've got one or two people at Hive who aren't so keen on sweet things and biscuits. You know who I'm talking about. And so maybe you would prefer the apple version. Who knows? Right. Now, we've got the next activity, which is activity number 4. Right. And we are going to make a mess. We're going to get out some paints.
Yeah.
And we're going to make this brilliant picture here. Can you see? It says Jesus is alive, and there is a handprint at the top. And what's the handprint like, Libs?
The sunshine.
The sunrise on Easter Sunday morning, and then the green bit is like a hill, the hill where the cross was. And if you can see, we've got a cross stuck on there. So if you made a cross for Palm Sunday out of paper and you folded and made a paper cross, this is the opportunity to use it now. If you didn't do that, then you could look at one of the other videos that we've got a link to, and on there you can make a paper cross, or you could just get a piece of paper or a piece of card and cut out the shape of a cross. But the first thing you need to do for this craft is get yourself a piece of card or paper, and then get some yellow paint. If you didn't have yellow, you could probably use, what
Orange.
do you think? Yeah, orange, sort of pinky red, anything for a nice sunrise sort of picture. And what did we do? We did this one yesterday, didn't we? So the paint would be dry. Just explain how we did it.
So we rubbed our hand in yellow coloured paint, and then we pressed it onto our paper, and then.
So that's brilliant. So let's imagine we've just done that. Yeah. The paint's gone dry now, and we've got our sunrise handprint there. So next step. Either colour a piece of white paper green or cut out a hill shape. It can be just a rough sort of hill shape. And with glue, that is lovely.
You stick it on.
That's it. So it just covers that base bit of the hand. So it looks like the sunrise is coming up from behind it. And then your paper cross for Jesus's cross that was on the hill. But the cross now, is Jesus on the cross?
No.
He's already risen. There you go. So you can stick your cross on. Do you want to show everyone that? I think, yeah, if you stand this side of the sunshine, they can see it better. There you go. Fantastic. And then you could write an Easter message on the bottom. On this one, we've written, Jesus is alive. But you can write your own Easter message on there. So that is another activity. A bit messy with the yellow paint, but quite a bit of fun to do, isn't it? Yeah, excellent. And then we've gone through the story, really, haven't we? We've done the garden, the cross, the empty tomb, and then the sunrise on Easter Sunday morning of Jesus is alive. Yeah? Shall we do one more thing to finish our 5 activities with a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you think that'd be good? Should we do that? Right. So for this last activity, we are going to tell the whole of we're going to tell the Easter story with a piece of paper. So take a piece of paper and you're going to fold one corner down so it meets the edge, as if you were trying to make the piece of paper into a square. So you just fold down like that. Yeah, so you've got a triangle at the top with a rectangle at the bottom. Brilliant. Next, you're going to take the top point and fold it down so you've made like a little house shape. Oh, you're good at this. You're good at origami, aren't you? Yeah? Right, can you remember what you do next? Yes, you fold it in half. So you fold it in half. So you try and keep a nice point at the top, and then it looks a bit like
you're making paper.
Yeah, a bit like you're making a paper aeroplane. Great. And then the final thing is to fold it in half again. So you've had your paper aeroplane, and then you just fold it over in half again like that. So you look like you've now got either a paper aeroplane with wings all on one side, or a bit of an arrow. And when you've got it like that, to tell our Easter story, pair of scissors now, what do we always say?
If you're in reception or under, make sure you have an adult to cut, or someone older than you to cut out your piece of paper.
Brilliant. So you start in the middle here, and you cut up. Quite tough here where there's lots of paper, but just keep going. So you're cutting your shape in half, and you're going all the way up to the top. You can try your bit. All the bits of paper you get, keep, because this is now going to be how, with one bit of paper, we tell the Easter story. Great. This is the tough bit there where it's all folded over, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's hope you're going to be able to see this. That's great, Libby. You've done it right. So the first bit you need to do is get one of the big pieces of paper, and look, you've made a cross. It's cut out a cross. Well done. Then the next thing you need to do is unfold one of the next pieces of paper, and that's made this sort of shape. And unfold another bit, look. And if we put those two bits together, that's made a smaller cross. You got your smaller cross?
Yeah.
And there should be another bit that looks exactly the same. There, there, and there. So now we've got how many crosses?
3.
3. We've got the big cross that Jesus died on, and 2 smaller crosses, one for each of the crosses that the people on the robbers on either side of Jesus were crucified on. And then it doesn't quite finish there, does it, Libby? Because we've still got a few bits of paper left over. So you should have now left over 2 little square pieces like this, and a rectangle. So the rectangle here, we'll find that in a second for you, Libby. The rectangle here goes above the cross, and do you remember they wrote Jesus, King of the Jews? And that goes up there. And then you've got one here that looks like a spear, and that is for the spear that pierced Jesus's side on the cross. The soldiers wanted to check that he was dead, so they poked him in the side with a spear. And then the 2 little square ones are for the dice that the soldiers rolled. And what did they do that for? For his cloak. That fulfilled one of the prophecies, didn't it?
Yeah.
That they rolled dice for his cloak. So there we go. So that tells what happened on the Good Friday. And there's one more thing we can do with it before we're finished. So you've got the cross. So Libby, shall we use mine or yours? Which do you want to do?
Yours.
Right, okay. So will you put the cross down for us first of all? Oh, thanks. Yeah, move yours to one side. So put the cross down first of all. Right. And then with all the other bits we've got, so let's do it this way up so people can maybe see. I'm not sure. So this way up. Now we're going to make a word now.
Yeah.
So what letter does that look like?
An L.
An L. So let's start our word with an L. If I put up this. Go on. Yes. I'm sure you were shouting that out. Now then. What about this? What does this letter look like? F. L-I-F. Can you guess what the last letter's going to be?
E.
E, because what does that spell?
Life.
Life, because Jesus came to give us life. So we can spell out the word life and our big cross, and we can tell the story all from one piece of paper. So have a go with that, because that's quite a fun thing to be able to show somebody, isn't it? So
very impressed.
yes, they will be quite impressed with you if you can do that. So that's the Easter story from start to finish with our craft activities. We've had Libby read us the Easter story from the Gospel of Matthew, and I think we should finish with a prayer. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone find a nice quiet space. Get yourself in a calm place Libby, are you going to finish in prayer for us?
Okay.
Brilliant.
Dear God, thank you for dying on the cross and rising again for us. Thank you that you took that challenge and that you are there for us when we need you and are in hard situations. Amen.
Oh man, and this week it'd be really good, wouldn't it, to think about people who are feeling quite sad and lonely because they're at home on their own, people in hospital who are ill with the virus or with other things wrong with them, and to think as well this week the excitement of those ladies of Mary and Mary. Can you do the excited kind of like ah? So that absolute excitement, let us live today so excited because Jesus is alive, and not forget that the rest of this week or forever, that Jesus is alive and brings us good news. So I hope you enjoy doing some of those activities.
Yeah.
Enjoy eating any chocolate Easter eggs you might have. And we shall see you hopefully next week for some more craft and some more Hive.
Yeah.
So thank you. Have a good Easter.
Bye.